close your eyes and open your mind and your heart to the presence of God. God within you. God all around you. We live in an ocean of God. And how grateful we are for that simple awareness. And we are grateful for this beautiful spiritual community where we can come and be our truest selves and know that we will meet love. Where we can come and see and celebrate God in every person here. And so we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rick Cantrell, and I'll be serving as your facilitator this morning. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you've chosen to be with us this morning. If you're a guest, we'd like to direct your attention to the welcome station just outside the sanctuary here. There you can find information about Unity and ways to get connected. Now I invite you to take your cell phones and send them into the silence while we're in this sacred space. Thank you. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. So we believe and practice the following. God is absolute good, everywhere present. Our essence is of God, and therefore we are inherently good. We create our experience by the activity of our thinking. Prayer and meditation are the highest form of creative thinking. And as we practice these principles, we live the truth that we know. So now please join me in speaking aloud our vision, our mission, and our core values. And our vision is, we celebrate a spiritually awakened world. And our mission is,
we inspire the awakening and practice of divine love in every heart.
In addition, we celebrate our core values, knowing that Unity has come here to be
Spirit-centered,
and to express the values of
love, peace, and connection.
And now it's time for a moment with our children.
It's on.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So today I want to talk a little bit about our thoughts and how they are important in making our life what we want it to be. Do you guys ever feel sad or angry or worried? Yeah, me too. Did you know that those feelings are okay to have? Yeah, that's good. I know that sometimes I feel really sad when Delena's at school and I can't play with her or hug her or tell her that I love her, and I miss her a lot. So everyone has those feelings sometimes, and it's okay to feel that way. It's important to remember that that's okay to feel from time to time, but when we do feel like that, what do we do to help ourselves feel better? What do you guys do to help you feel better when you feel sad? Yeah, what do you do?
Talk to my mom.
Talk to your mom? Yeah. That's a really great way to help us feel better, to go to people that love and care about us. What do you do?
I take deep breaths.
Oh, yeah, that's really important. Yeah, that's good. What about you?
If I'm at home, I just start sleeping.
Rest. Rest is really important.
Sometimes I do things I like to do.
Yeah, that's really good. Doing activities that we enjoy doing, being outside is really important. And so, yeah, we can always talk to people who love and care for us, and we can also talk to God anytime that we want to or we need to. We just sit down in the quiet and take some deep breaths, and we can say anything that we need at any time. And so today I have a verse from Proverbs 23:7. It says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." So sometimes if we feel sad or angry or worried and we hold on to those things, our day might be really gloomy. And so that's when it's important to do the things that help us to feel better, so we can make space for happy thoughts and we can make our day bright. So today our affirmation is, life is what we make it. Can you say that with me?
Life is what we make it.
Awesome. All right.
We could bless our children. Let's stand up. We love you.
We bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are.
Christ.
Sing with us. God's good, God's good, God's good is everywhere. God's good, God's good, God's good is everywhere. I am a general of infinite love. I am a general of infinite love. God's love, God's love, God's love is everywhere. God's love, God's love, God's love is everywhere. I am a general of infinite love. I am a general of infinite love.
The daily word this morning is divine order. And the affirmation is, my life unfolds in divine order. Examples of order and progression are all around me. The seasons, the tides, and all cycles of growth are happening in perfect sequence. Trying to rush the process or skip a step would create a disruption of this progression of nature. Like the seasons and the tides, divine order guides my life's unfoldment. I take my cue from the natural world and don't try to rush my growth or take shortcuts to reach goals. Instead, I awaken to divine order, realizing it helps keep my life in balance. With gratitude, I affirm divine order as I bless my mind and physical body for serving me so well. Acting on guidance I receive from divine mind, I affirm divine order in all that I accomplish. And our scripture reading is from the Gospel of Mark. The earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, then the full grain in the head. Now let us join together in speaking the affirmation aloud. Together, my life unfolds in divine order. And now I invite you to repeat it silently to yourself.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Lori Boyd, and I am the minister here at Unity of Columbia. And what I do when I'm feeling sad is I sing. Yes, and it always lifts my heart, and it always connects me with God. My talk today is coming from a book called The Hilltop Heart by James Dillard Freeman. If you've never heard of him, he is considered the poet laureate of Unity. He is such an inspiring author. I love his works. So a lot of what I'm saying today is lifted straight from him. It's really not me, it's him. Because I just love he just is so beautiful in his words that I don't feel any need to change them. So he's talking about what is real. He asks the question, what is real? What is real? So some people think that what is real is what can be measured. Something is real if we can see it or touch it or taste it. It's tangible. That makes it real. But that begs a question. How do we measure the things that give meaning to our life? How do we measure the pleasure we take in a warm, sunny morning, which they're having somewhere? How do we measure a good conversation over coffee? How do we measure the power of an idea? How do we measure love and grief and joy? The realest things in life can't be measured. So other people go to the opposite extreme. The only thing that's real is the thing that cannot be measured. And since the real things can't be measured, then this world must be an illusion, a dream. And yet, this answer is also unsatisfying. Freeman writes, "This is an enchanted world, a magic world, but not a dream world. The world is alive. The world is as much alive as you and I are. And that very aliveness makes it real." Others say what is real is what we can enter into relationship with. Something is real if we can communicate with it. But what is communication? One of my favorite pieces is he describes walking through a forest. He says, "I bow to trees when I walk through a forest, and the trees bow back. We do not talk, but I think we have come to understand each other. For many years, I used to lie under a certain willow tree and expect a dryad to step out and speak to me, and then I realized that my tree was probably waiting for a tree to grow out of me so that she could communicate with it. And since then, we have understood each other better." We know something is real, not so much when we communicate with it, but when we commune with it. And it's a communion, not of words, but at the deepest level, where we realize our oneness. Some people say that what is real are the things that happen to us, the events that we encounter along the way. Yet we know that our perception of events is colored by our experience. When I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling depressed, when I'm feeling angry, I will have one experience of an event. When I'm feeling happy and joyful and capable and put together, I would, yeah, it does happen occasionally, come on. I will have a completely different experience of exactly the same event. So Freeman says that the realest things are not the things that happen, but how we are in the midst of those things. The choices that we make in the moment. That choice to, when we're feeling, as Sarah said in the children's moment, when we're feeling sad, the choice we make to say, "I think I'll go talk to my mom." I said, yes, I do the same thing. I talk to mom. I sing. I do things I like to do. I pause. I take a breath. I pray. Sometimes I pray knowing my oneness with God, and sometimes I just pray saying, "Help," because that's where I am at the moment. And every one of those things works and lifts me up. So everybody has rivers to cross. And it's not the river crossing that matters. It's what we do at the river crossing that is real. Do we move forward with courage, or do we stand on the bank in fear? Yowza. Do we hold our, see, I always say these things, not because you need to hear them, but because I do. So, just to let you know that. That's why I said yowza, because that was for me. Do we hold our hearts open to love? Or do we cut ourselves off from the possibility of being vulnerable? Because that just feels too scary in the moment, you know? The realest things in life are not the things that happen. Things happen, but what will turn out to be realist is how they happen to you, how they happen to me. So others say that what is real is truth. And anyone who says that always says truth with a capital T. And they know what the truth is. Whether or not we agree with them, they know. Which begs the question, you know, how can we know the truth? Jesus said, know the truth and the truth will set you free. But how do we know the truth? How do we know? Friedman wrote, "This is not a world where we are constantly faced with illusions, but rather a world where we are perpetually surprised by truth." I love that. I love that. This is a very important thought, especially in this day and age, when we eagerly label everything we disagree with as fake news or lies or the deep state or, whatever labels. You all know what they are. The world is alive. Being alive, it changes, it grows. We change, we grow. Truth is also alive. Truth changes and grows. James uses a beautiful metaphor to describe this. He wrote, "Did you ever weigh a cloud? The cloud has fallen as rain, and the rain has sprung up as a vine, and the vine has put forth flowers, and the flowers have grown into fruit, and you have plucked the fruit and eaten it, and you are yourself that cloud you thought to weigh." Truth is not something we can pin down and measure. Rather, it is something that we become. We grow into it. Both it and we are constantly evolving to new levels. So whatever we think truth is, whatever we try to say it is, we need to always hold in our minds and hearts, and it is also more than that. It is more than that. It is more than I can know in this moment, and I am willing to hold that space. Truth is always happening. We stumble on it by accident. We don't make it happen. We don't make truth happen. But we only stumble upon it because we are diligently looking for it. Our spiritual practice is all about making ourselves accident prone, right? So that we stumble on the truth when it's around us. And we see it, and we notice it, and we have those aha moments. Oh, wow, yes. Yes. So what is truth? Are we saved by grace? Are we saved by merit? Is it faith that matters? Is it works that matter? Are we a physical being having a spiritual experience, or a spiritual being having a physical experience? Do we have free will? Is everything predetermined? The answer is yes and. Yes and. There's always room for the bigger truth. Truth and reality and God are so much broader than our narrow definition, our either-or mentality that we fall into. Think about what we have discovered in the nature of physics. You know, at the macro level, the laws of physics are very clear and predictable. You drop an apple, it falls to the ground. These laws have been well documented and understood for centuries. There are particles, there are waves, and everything is one or the other and behaves accordingly. And then we started finding out about quantum mechanics, and we started exploring at the subatomic level, and we found that it turns out that the order that we thought was so beautiful breaks down at that level, because God is more than we were allowing for. It turns out that the mere act of observing the behavior of something at the subatomic level alters that thing. If we look at something saying, is it a wave? It will be a wave. If we look at it saying, is it a particle? It will be a particle. Well, that's weird. That's reality, though. That's our reality. They call this the observer effect, and it is well proven now. The act of observing shifts the behavior. So at the deepest level, it's both and. It's both a particle and a wave. Things resolve into themselves. We try to make this an either-or world, and it's not. And we are in a very deep either-or experience right now, culturally, I think. And the way through is to remember that it's not either-or, it's both and. Opposites resolve themselves into each other. James and I share an experience. We both lived in Kansas City for many years. Kansas City straddles 2 states. And there is a road that runs north-south through the middle of the city, and it is given the inspired name State Line Road. Ooh, yeah. And you stand on the east side and you're in Missouri, and if you cross over to the west side of that road, you're in Kansas, right? So James says, if you're in Missouri and you want to get to Kansas, you have 2 choices. You can face west, and it's a simple, easy journey from Missouri to Kansas. You can also face east and start walking and swimming and climbing, and you will get to Kansas. But oh, the journey! Oh, the journey you will take. Life is what we make it. Life is what we make it. I've spent so much of my life trying to get to Kansas facing east. When am I going to stop? Soon, I promise. You were wondering that too?
I would want to go to Kansas.
Oh. It's a metaphor, Rick. He said, who would want to go to Kansas? So, life is what we make it. We are called to choose which way we're going to face. We're called to choose. We may have been born into a world of people all facing east, and we can still choose to turn around and face west. I think a lot of us in Unity do that. You know, we don't flock. We feel strong in standing in our inner truth and listening to that wisdom of God within us. Of course, sometimes it feels easier to keep facing the old way because change can be hard. And it is so worth it. It is so worth the effort. Growth takes work and practice, and yay. Yay, because that's what we'll do. Life is growth. Nothing alive stands still. We are called to live and grow. So there are no easy formulas and no certain ways for how to do this. We will be influenced by what we believe is real. We will be influenced by our understanding of the truth. There are no easy formulas or certain paths to guide us. One of the bits of wisdom I learned at seminary was learn to stand in the question. Rather than looking for the answer, stand in the question. So we begin by making a choice to believe. And then we live from that belief. What do we believe in? We believe in the truth as we know it and understand it now. Listening to that wisdom within us. We start where we are, in other words. We start right where we are. We don't have to go anywhere or do anything or become anything to start. We start where we are. We open our minds and hearts to know the truth, as Jesus said, to let it set us free. And we hold that knowing that whatever truth we know, it is bigger than this. It is more than this. God is more than this. Truth is more than this. And then we live from that truth. And we see where that takes us. We take a step. If I really believed in my heart that this is true, that this is the step I'm being called to take. Just one step. I don't know where, it's not like GPS. You don't know, you don't put in the end destination, you put in one step. And you take that step. And then you open yourself and say, now what's the truth? Did I grow? Did I learn? Is there something more? And you allow that to come in. And then you have another step in front of you. And you take that next step. So one step, one step. So remember, truth is not something we can pin down and measure as much as we might like to. It is something we become. And both it and me are constantly evolving. We learned the truth about gravity. Gravity binds us to the earth. And because we understood that, we learned how to fly. I learned the truth about my emotions. I saw I was held back by fears I didn't even know I had. And as I came to understand that, I was able to release them. I moved forward. I learned that I'm an expression of God. And day by day, as I come to live that more, it colors everything in my life. As I live into that knowing and become a person who knows that. So I am growing into truth. So your homework assignment for this week is to consider, what is the most real thing in your world right now? What do you know and feel to be true? What is your current deep, deep, deep wisdom? Where are you now? What do you want to be true? Hunger to be true, but you don't quite feel it yet. That's God calling you to step into something bigger. That's your step. So sit with that, explore that, and see what step you are being called to grow into. And let's take that into meditation.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me.
invite you to close your eyes. And allow your body to relax into your chair. Set aside anything you might be holding in your hands. Let your feet rest on the floor. And as your body relaxes, you might notice that your breathing becomes a little slower and a little deeper. And let your awareness hone in on your breathing. Let that become your focus for this moment. Noticing that rhythmic inflow and outflow. Cool and then warm. Allow your attention now to sink inward to that place at the very center of your being where there is only God, and you know beyond knowing, you and God are one. Allow that awareness of God to fill you. Resting in that awareness, allow yourself to know your deepest truth in this moment. And allow yourself to realize what you hunger for. As we rest a few moments in the silence. invite you now to very gently begin to return your attention to this place, this time. Calling into your heart a feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for that gift of silent communion. And we say thank you, God. Amen and amen.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude for me. Gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I am so grateful.
As always, we return from our meditation filled with gratitude and peace. And in that consciousness, we now turn to the spiritual practice of generosity. In unity, we find joy in sharing our time, talents, and our treasures. And now is the time to share our treasures. Any gift given from the heart has the power to transform lives. This week, your gift supports the mission of Unity of Columbia and Unity World Headquarters at Unity Village. If you give your gift in the service today, please hold your gift in your hands. And if you give by some automated means, please hold your gift in your heart. Let us now speak our offering blessing. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. have two symbols of blessing today. First is the prayer box held by a member of our prayer ministry team. In prayer, we affirm and encourage each other to expand our consciousness to accept health, wealth, happiness, universal oneness, and light. And second, a member of our love offering team is given this morning. It's held by a member of our usher ministry team. We bless these gifts and we express gratitude for the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of our spiritual family and of our world. Thank you. In Unity, we are about transforming lives. Each Sunday, we come together to experience God and connection. And unity is more than a Sunday morning experience. We offer many activities throughout the week to expand our awareness of God and to bring us closer to each other. Please take time to look at your bulletin for the upcoming opportunities. So just a reminder, today's the last day of the craft fair. If you donated an item that did not sell and you want it back, please pick it up today. You can make a difference this Christmas. Each year, Unity participates in the Voluntary Action Center's Adopt a Family program. You can stop by the gift ornament tree in the foyer today and pick up cards with different gift ideas. On Wednesday, November 27th, please join us for our annual Thanksgiving Eve service, followed by a simple supper or soup and bread. Our fall spirit groups will display photos of their activities during the supper. And on Saturday, November 30th, we invite you to join us as we decorate our Unity home for the upcoming Christmas season. We've got lots to do, so the more the merrier, and we encourage you to sign up in the foyer so we know how many will be helping. Please note that there's an extended time for decorating. And Reverend Lori has decided to cancel the trip to Bethlehem workshop due to the busyness of the holiday season. And our spirit groups are taking a hiatus over the holiday season, but watch for them to start up in February. On Thursday, December 12th, the Women's Ministry is hosting a private tour of one of the homes in this year's Columbia Holiday Home Tour. This house has been decorated by our own Gary Smith. Hope it was on the first floor. Check out the details in the bulletin and be sure to sign up. And mark your calendars for the annual Christmas concert. The concert this year is on Sunday, December 15th at 3 p.m. Now I invite you to stand and take your neighbor's hand as we sing the prayer for meditation.
Into your week, I invite you to remember that the chorus concert is at 3 p.m. today. Come on down and know that you are the light and love of God. Wherever you are, God is.